Okay.
Awesome. Well, welcome everyone. My name is Erin Spreen, and I live in Edmonton, Alberta, Canada, on the western side of our wonderful country. For anybody that is catching the recording and couldn't be here live, most of you guys I do know, and somewhere in Canada, we're actually all Canada, United States, pretty much. Our North America, we should call this a North American call now. But we have a very exciting individual here. He is a amazing individual and trainer with Rain International. He lives in Utah, just south of headquarters in Salt Lake City, and is it Provo? I believe it's Provo, right, Paul? Yeah.
Provo. I live about 5 minutes away from
Yeah,
headquarters.
literally 5 minutes. When I say just south of headquarters.
Yeah.
He has incredible training because there's been so many huge announcements with Rain International. I'm already seeing the buzz happening on social media. There's a lot of momentum happening because, of course, what's happening in the world right now, and amazing individuals are speaking for the world to awaken, and we are here to provide a solution. So with that, but this is a very special training with Paul, our diamond, our leader in our amazing team. So Paul, I'll let you take over, and I'll just give you share screen.
Sure. You know what? I think you need to make me the host or at least the co-host. So did you do that so I can share my screen?
Yeah, you can share your screen.
Okay. Well, there you go. All right. So yeah, you guys, I wanted to hop on. I'm sure a lot of you saw the this Super Saturday event. Did most of you attend that? Have you had a chance, or have you had a chance to take a look at the recordings? I hope so, because I mean, I literally could not sleep that night thinking about what is happening here. I am most certainly going to be in Oslo for the Ascend event because I want to be right there in front of everything that's happening, and I'll tell you a little bit more about that. But so what just happened? You know, what just happened in Rain, and why is it so important? Let me give you a little bit of background, just so I think some of you know the story of how Rain started. It started actually in 2009. It used to be called Rain Nutrition. They had Soul as a product, and then the owners kind of lost their vision. They had developed a big business, but Byron Belka was the biggest distributor, and they were going to shut the company down. And Byron was in Hungary and said, "Oh no, you don't," and flew home and bought the company along with some other investors. That was in 2011. It was 11/11 of 11. Believe it or not, that's a pretty auspicious date. Um, and it's just kind of grown ever since and overcome all kind of obstacles. Like their first year, they ran into all sorts of problems that the previous owners had left them behind that they didn't even know about. There was even 2 months where they couldn't ship product or pay anybody, and it survived and it grew and it doubled. It went to $24 million in sales that year because people want the product. The product works. They were going, no, get us that product. And it's just continued to grow. It's sort of by virtue of who the business attracted, really wound up being more of a European Asian company. I mean, that's where my whole team is. It's my biggest team's in Scandinavia. Pretty much anybody in Scandinavia is on my team. But we are now really focused on building North America, Canada. We can build wherever because we're in 45 countries. But the company has done some very strategic and specific things now because their vision is we are the next billion-dollar company. Now that you hear people say things like that about companies all the time, but let me tell you, they've hired a president to kind of take the load off of Byron, so that Byron is still the CEO, but Byron has always just kind of worked more like a master distributor because he doesn't take a salary as a CEO, he earns commissions. And now Byron is freed to do what Byron does best, which is sponsor and support the team and put his arms around all of us and work side by side. This president was president of another company that went, to $1 billion. His brother, so his name is Jeff Higginson. His brother started another company called Synergy that's a $1 billion company. So this is a guy that knows how to take a company to $1 billion. He knows what that looks like and what it requires and what the kind of like the little landmines are going to be as that happens. And he's ready for it. They've hired a vice president, and now I'm blanking on his name, but he spoke at convention, and I'm having a senior moment. He did that. He did that training on getting in the flow. It was fantastic, and he's very, very experienced in network marketing. They've hired marketing people that do social media. This is a gal that came over from a huge company called it's the makeup company, Rodan and Fields.
Yes, Rodan.
Rodan and Fields. This is a company that did over $1 billion just in the United States. They never even, before they ever went into a foreign market, they did over $1 billion here. And this gal that they've hired, that's going to be over our marketing and social media, was intimately involved in all of that. So you see how they're putting all the players on the chessboard to support our efforts, as they're very focused on bringing this to the United States, of course, the rest of the world, but they're super focused on the US, Canada, all of North America. So they've put their money where their mouth is. And then the other thing that is just, I mean, honest to Pete, you guys, I don't know if you really understand who Randy Gage is. Randy Gage is now working with the company to develop, I mean, intimately, he's going to be in Oslo. He's going to do trainings there with the diamonds, with the platinums, and with the general session there. Honest to Pete, if you have any ability to get to Oslo, you need to be there. I know that's a commitment, but gosh, it's going to be incredible. Randy is like an icon. Okay. I joined a network marketing company 18 years ago. I didn't know what the heck I was doing. And I just read every book and every good training that I could get my hands on the industry. And Randy Gage is like my go-to guy. I respect him so much. And a lot of what I have taught over the years, I mean, of course, I've learned as I've gone. I have a lot of experience and I've made a lot of money in this industry, but a lot of what I teach came directly from Randy. And so I cannot tell you how excited I am to have Randy and, of course, Ann Feinstein, who's one of his, partners, developing our new material, our systems that will be launched in September. You guys, I wish I could take my brain and my excitement and my heart and transplant it into you so that you could feel what I'm feeling and know what I know, because I want you to take the same action that I'm going to take in the coming days, weeks, and months. So I'm going to try to help you get focused on that. Randy is an 8 times worldwide best-selling author, and just an incredible expert on duplication. And duplication is what it's all about. When anything that I do in network marketing, whenever I say, I'm trying to say, here's a little system I'm going to put together, or here's what I'm going to ask you to do as a distributor, the question is never, will this work? The question is, will this duplicate? Can anybody do this? And will they do this? And so it has to be simple, and it has to be duplicable, and people have to be willing to do it. So Randy's an expert at making that happen. And he said something that was really so brilliant. I don't know if you caught it on the Super Saturday event, but he said, when we're in Oslo, We're not just gonna, our goal is not to teach you a system, is to teach you how to teach your people a system and how to teach them how to teach others so that this duplicates. We'll have a standard presentation. We've got a standard presentation now. We don't have to wait until Randy launches the system. We've got a system, but I'm so excited to get Randy's system. So here we go. So here's some things that I want you to really understand and take in as to what we have right now. You may have seen this before, but it bears repeating. There have been some huge trends in the world of wellness and health in network marketing. $49 billion worth of herbs sold. These are 2016 numbers, so I'm certain that it's grown since then. But $49 billion worth of herbs, that's nothing to shake a stick at. That's a lot of herbs being sold because people are interested in, I got to improve my health. $446 billion in supplements and capsules, $28 billion in superfruit juices. Are people interested in health? Are they interested in trying to find ways to stay younger, feel better? Yeah. $17 billion in essential oils. That's a lot of billions. That's billions and billions and billions, right? It's hundreds of billions of dollars. But what we have trumps all of it. Because if you're going to look to the purest source for health, then you're going to look to seeds, because everything on your screen right now was a seed before it was any of those things. So we got the category that ate all other categories. And here's something else that when we talk about a category creator, now the reason I'm talking about this stuff, I don't want you to think I'm just all over the place here. The reason I'm talking about this is because I'm trying to help you understand how big this is. And I'm trying to help you be able to paint this picture for other people. Because when we're talking to somebody else about a business opportunity, the question on their mind is, what is this? Can I do it? And will it be worth my time? What I'm trying to show you is this is so huge that freaking yes, it's going to be worth your time. I hope you grasp this, because if you miss it, it's going to be a tragedy. All right. A category creator company is a company that doesn't just have one product, but that has a central concept that can expand endlessly. Some of the mistakes, I don't know if you guys were around for some of the juice wars in the early 2000s. I was. I remember companies like MonaV and Zango. The mistakes they made was they kind of put their tentpole around one fruit, one superfruit. Zango was mangosteen. MonaV was acai. They should have just, if they were smart, they would have said, we're the superfruit juice company. And then they could have had, there's all kinds of superfruits that they could develop and market. The thing that is so cool about seeds, first of all, everything comes from the seeds. It's the source of all nutrition on earth, and it's the most potent form of nutrition on earth. But we have a simple concept, seed nutrition. Extracting the nutrition out of that seed so your body can use it. And there are endless seeds and endless combinations and endless products that could be developed from that simple concept without ever making some weird left turn away from what our central mission is. I've seen a lot of companies do that. My previous company, it was all about healthy chocolate. That was the concept. All of a sudden they're selling crypto. I'm like, what in the Sam crud are we even talking about? It was because they felt like they needed to go there because they had run a course. Well, here we'll never run a course. It's endless. So I hope you guys grasp that. The timing of this thing could not be better for you. So I'm going to be talking to people, and this is a question I'm going to be asking them. If you could hop into a time machine and go back to 1985 and land in front of the garage where Steve Jobs was making the very first Apple computer, knowing what you know now, how badly would you want to be part of that? What would you do? How much money would you offer? Like I'd be begging, please let me invest in this. Please, I'll give you my time. What do you want? Well, guys, that is exactly that. We are in the garage. Rain is in the garage right now. And what I mean by that is, we've got the infrastructure around the world. We're already a successful, company, but nobody knows about us. We're doing maybe $100 million a year in sales, but in the world of network marketing, that's still quite small. So, the typical pattern is that when a company gets to between 50, maybe 100, $150 million in sales, they hit a critical mass because the infrastructure's there, the story's out there, and it just starts to pop like popcorn, and they go into a momentum phase. Some of the things that have kept us from being in a momentum phase, I truly believe, are the things that have now been dealt with that I just talked about, that we have our actors kind of freed to do the things that they do best, because now we've got this president, we've got the marketing people, everything is in place. There's no white noise in the way of this. So I believe we're about to go into this momentum phase. And if you can act and build before the momentum phase hits, when momentum hits, it carries your team. Well, I'll give you, my sponsor is Derek Winkle. I think some of you have met Derek and know who he is. Derek had already been in network marketing for about 20 years before I ever joined network marketing. He was with a company called Nu Skin, which is the same company, by the way, that Byron Belka initially joined. And Derek joined Nu Skin in 1985 and worked for 5 years as he was a bellman at a hotel. And he had just kind of thought, I got to do something. I don't want this to be my life, learned about network marketing, joined Nu Skin and worked at it. He had a very good mentor. And after about 5 years, now bear in mind, this is 1985, so this was good money. After about 5 years, I think he was making $5,000-$6,000 a month in Nu Skin as a guy in his, late 20s. But what happened was in 1990, Nu Skin hit momentum. They had done $50 million the year previous. And then the next year, because they'd hit a critical mass and they went into a momentum growth, they went from 50 to $500 million the next year. And Derek's check went from $5,000, $6,000 a month to $50,000. $70,000, $75,000 a month, and it stayed there for 20 years. How'd you like that? Okay. And honestly, Derek made some decisions because he felt like there were other opportunities, and he stepped away from Nu Skin because they made a rule that he couldn't participate. He was already participating in that healthy chocolate business that I was in, and they made him choose. So he said, I think this is going to be bigger. Stepped away from Nu Skin, and I got to tell you, the teams that he built, he had the largest team in Asia, and it's still doing $1 billion a year in sales. So when you can get in front of a wave like that, you just cannot believe what can happen for your life. And I'm telling you, as a person who's been in network marketing full-time 18 years and who lives in the nerve center of all network marketing on planet Earth, I know what's coming, guys. I mean, I feel like Paul Revere going, the redcoats are coming, the redcoats are coming, okay? But in this case, it's a good thing. I am begging you to pay attention to me, because I don't want you to come to me later and say, you never told me, you didn't warn me. I'm warning you now. This is what's happening. And I'll tell you, the worst feeling in the world is when you like you're right now, it's small. We're like the group, and we're strategizing about really owning this thing. Like, let's take this thing to the next level. We can own North America, you guys. There's no worse feeling than kind of going, what happened? And all of a sudden you're going to a meeting in Canada and there's 1,000 people there and 2 of them are yours. Okay. You do not want to be in that position. So here is what you need to kind of understand and do. I was just giving you a little background. So I kind of talked you through this. You already know this. 2011, great track record of growth, 45 countries. You guys, you can build in any of those countries. You're not limited to North America, which means the world, is really your oyster. But, right now, a huge opportunity here. You need to understand some trends, what's happening. So I want to talk to you about it because understanding trends helps you sort of understand where you should put your time, right? And when you talk to people about this business, you can explain how huge this is by understanding this. Back in 1990, this guy named Paul Zane Pilzer, wrote a book called The Wellness Revolution. I don't know if you've ever heard of him, but he's an economist. He was an advisor to several presidents of the United States. And he predicted, this is a book from, like I said, 1990, 1991, something like that. He predicted that by 2011, the wellness industry, so like all of the industries that fall under the wellness banner, any sort of business that serves this idea would become $1 trillion a year industry. Well, here we are in 2023, and it's not a trillion, it's $4.2 trillion. And guys, it is not slowing down. The global economy, well, this is pre-pandemic numbers, but it's right back to this pattern now. It was growing at 3.6%, while the wellness industry was growing at 6.4% a year. So this is showing you kind of that trend. Wellness is just it's an explosive segment of the economy. And at the same time, people's health tanked. Because back in 1990, when he said it's going to be $1 trillion a year industry, only 12% of the population was obese. It's now like 42%. And diabetes has gone up by 10 times. And people are just sick. They've got autoimmune disease off the charts. So there is a huge demand just for the products. And people are in need of opportunity because of what's happening in the economy right now. So I hope that I've kind of helped you see how big it is and grasp this. People are looking for ground floor opportunities all over. People would love to find a ground floor opportunity, right? Most ground floor opportunities come with a lot of excitement, but a lot of danger. Because, there's so many things that aren't established about that business. Are they going to be funded well enough? Are they going to get past any of the, typical sort of traps? Who's running that thing? Do they know what they're doing? What we have, guys, is a proven opportunity with tens of millions of dollars of infrastructure. We have offices all over the world and warehouses all over the world and managers and leaders in place in those tens and tens of millions of dollars of infrastructure. And it's still a ground floor opportunity. And I got to tell you, if we can build here, we can really take this anywhere, because the US and Canada, we're like the melting pots of the world. People come here from all over the world. Anywhere else we want to go, we can just find some people who, if we're going to Thailand, hey, let's find some folks in Canada that are from Thailand. If you want to go to Hungary, okay, let's find some Hungarians in Canada or the US. It's very easy to do that. So we just have to build here, if that makes sense. But we want to be in front of that wave. We don't want to be swimming behind it. There's no worse feeling. So the time is now to act. So let's clarify, act what? Do what? Okay? Well, talk to people. And we're going to build networks. Okay? Now, sometimes when people get involved in a network marketing business, I mean, it depends on what your intention is. I don't want to pound a round peg into a square peg into a round hole. Okay. If your intention is to just use the product and kind of share it with some people and make a few dollars here and there, that's great. Then that should be your goal and we'll help you achieve that goal. What we're really looking for are people who will build networks. You know, one of the things that Byron Belka has said again and again and again when he built multi-million-dollar businesses with his previous company, and of course here, his mentor told him, look, I am in the business of opening towns, cities, states, and countries. You know, that's what I'm doing. I'm not interested in selling a few boxes to my neighbor. That's not my intention. So I'm looking for people who want to build networks. And I'll show them how to build networks. But building that network, the network becomes the asset, guys. If you want to build residual income, you want to build a network. Because once that network is in place and those people are on subscription, those dollars become residual. They keep coming at you. They keep showing up in the mailbox. And anytime the company, comes out with another product, that builds more volume because it runs through the network that you've established. How are you going to build a network? Through leverage. It may sound daunting. It may sound like, oh gosh, how am I ever going to do that? Well, you're going to do it with a principle called leverage. Because when you first come into, so here's what JD Rockefeller said, and very, bright guy, made a lot of money. I would rather earn 1% of 100 people's efforts than 100% of my own efforts. So that's the principle of leverage. And when you joined this business, the only person you had in your business was you. So that means that you were 100% of the effort in your business. Here's the exciting thing. As soon as you had, So that requires you at 100% of the effort in your business. It requires you to spend more time and you'll make less money because it's just you, right? But the exciting thing is, as soon as you can find one other person that you bring into your business who has the same intention as you and who will do the same things as you, now your significance in your business has been reduced by 50%. You are now just 50% of the effort in your business. And then that third person comes in and you're only a third, etc., a sixth, a tenth, 1/100th, 1/1000, 1/10,000. And perhaps if you've never experienced this kind of growth, you might not think that it's possible. Well, let me tell you a little story about my business here in Rain. I don't know if you really understand how Scandinavia happened and why Oslo is going to be the place where the next big event is. It's because Scandinavia is the number 2, Norway, just by itself, is the number 2 market in rain. How did that happen? It happened because of one accidental email that I sent. One. Okay. I sent an accidental template email to somebody that had been in my previous business, and I sent it to Sweden. We weren't even in Sweden at the time. She kind of ignored it, but she had a conversation with somebody in Norway who knew about me, and we weren't in Norway at the time. And this woman called me and said, tell me about what you're doing. I think we could make this happen in Norway. Long story short, I won't bore you with all the gory details, but because of that one connection, I made a mistake. I sent it to the wrong person, but I took action, and she had a conversation with the right person just casually. She said, oh, Paul Engemann is doing this seed thing. And then she contacted me through Facebook and said, tell me about this. Well, here we are several years later. I think this was in 2018. And now I have about 20,000 distributors, in Norway and Scandinavia from that one phone call. So it's really just about taking action, about helping to duplicate, finding those people that are going to march along with you, who have the same idea, who also want to build networks, right? And what happens is at that point, the relationship between time and money in your business flips. Now, when you have a network like that established, you can actually spend less time and make more money. And it keeps coming. And that's freedom. Now, I'm never going to stop telling people about rain. I'm never going to stop sponsoring people and bringing people in. But that has happened so that, I have more freedom because I have this huge network. I am not special. I'm just a guy who did the thing and taught other people how to do the thing. Okay. And the thing is sustained effort, doing some simple activities over an extended period of time. We have to have the proper expectations. This is not a get rich quick scheme. We have to have sustained effort. But basically, there's only two money making activities and only two network building activities in our business, and that is showing the product and showing the business. Now, you're going to, by default, you're going to get some customers who maybe some people who aren't as interested in building a network. That's great. That's perfect. You'll still make money and you'll still help them. But we want to focus on right here, because we're really trying to grow this thing. We want to focus on people that we can inculcate the same vision that we've got. So show the product, show the business, show the product, show the business, show the product, show the business. That's the activity, but you need people to talk to. Okay. So typically what happens when people are new at network marketing, they don't have a lot of experience, they don't have a lot of training, but they have a lot of excitement, and they're kind of left to their own devices, is they kind of make a short list in their head. They came to the presentation, they went, Save Nutrition, are you kidding me? This makes so much sense. You're kidding me, Dr. Beckles. And he's talking about how there is research on how it kills cancer cells and how it can help. I mean, they're actually saying that black cumin can prevent and all kinds of things. I mean, crazy things that I would never say myself unless the doctor was saying it and showing the research. But people get excited, right? And then they go home and they think, oh my gosh, Mary needs to know about this. Bob needs to know about this. Cindy and Dave need to know about this. And they create this little short list in their mind. And they're thinking, these are my 5 perfect people. I just got to get these 5 perfect people. This is the key to my business right here. These 5 guys that I just thought of. And then they sort of may run to these people without a lot of training also, and not knowing what to do, and just kind of vomit everything all over them. And then what happens is they all sort of say no. And then this person who doesn't have a lot of experience says, oh my goodness, I talk to everyone. I talk to everybody. And nobody wants to do this. So here's the thing. Did they really talk to everybody? Because everybody's a lot of people. There's 7 billion people in this world, and they talk to 5. Okay, without a lot of training. That is what I call the scenario of disaster in network marketing. And it is so common. I would say it's probably 80% of people do that because they just don't know. They're not approaching it professionally. They didn't get the proper training and so kind of set it up right. I want to help you set it up right. Okay, so professionals in network marketing, any multi-million-dollar earner in this profession, of which I am one, knows that you got to start with a list, and that approaching people and adding people to that list and finding people to talk to, that is like the core principle and activity in network marketing. So you're going to start with a list, with a written list, because as you start talking to people, it's going to be very hard to keep track of who did I talk to, what did I give them, where am I at in the process. So if you want to do it on a spreadsheet, great. If you just want to do it on a piece of paper, but you have to keep track of what you just did and who you're following up with and at what point in the process they are. So write that list down. The cool thing is, in the old days, you kind of had to really kind of think about that list. You're going to keep adding to that list. It's an active candidate list, but now your list is already done. Pick up this little black box that you've got. The list is in there. Okay, just start scrolling through. Who do I know? Who's in my phone? Who's in my contacts? Who are my Facebook friends? Who are my LinkedIn friends? Who are my Instagram friends? Now I know that some people are thinking, like social media is evil. Okay, let me tell you, it is, but use it to your advantage. Okay, like make it work for you. Okay, I so I have built my pretty much my entire business on Facebook and Instagram, and I have distributors that are diamonds in this business that have only used Instagram to build their business. So they're powerful tools. We just use them to our advantage. You know, get in there and get your list, write it down, make it as comprehensive as you can make it. Put as many names there as you can. You don't even have to edit yourself too much. Just write names down. Don't think about it too much. Include every person you can think of. You may even think, oh, I don't even want to talk to that. Write the name down anyway, because doing that you may say, oh, I don't really want to talk. Oh, Bob. Oh, but Bob's friends with, oh yeah, he's at the country club and he's friends with Jane and she'd be perfect. Just write the names. Don't think about it too much. And then go through that list and start leveraging it. Think, now wait, okay, so how do I know him? Oh, who does he know? Who does she know? Etc. And try to expand that list as much as you can. So, the pros in this business are constantly expanding that list, meeting people, putting themselves in positions to meet people. You're going to meet people at church. You're going to meet people at the gym. You're going to meet people who, are your Uber drivers or somebody who gives you service. And if you're a friendly, personable person, which all of you are, you can start conversations with these folks and, send information to these folks and serve a need that they might have. And we can talk more about how you do that. But once you've got your list, then, you're going to go through it and you're going to start kind of sifting it. Okay. Once again, you're looking for generals. You're looking for people who will want to build a network. All right. And those people will have these traits, the ones on the left. Who do I know that's got good self-esteem, that's goal-oriented, that's an entrepreneurial person, that's assertive, that will take responsibility for their own results, that's open to new opportunities, that is an action taker, decisive, determined people. Who do I know like that? We all know people like that. You kind of want to stay away from the opposite of that on the other side. People with poor self-esteem, because the minute they're told no, they'll wilt like a flower. People who are flaky, you don't want to deal with because it will drive you insane. That they'll tell you they'll show up and they won't. Or people that think like an employee instead of an entrepreneur. And what I mean by that is, listen, it's very honorable to be an employee and to provide for your family, etc. Entrepreneurs are problem solvers. A lot of times employees, because of just the structure of that relationship, get into the habit of waiting for somebody else to tell them what to do. And you can't do that here. If you got to know if it is to be, it's up to me. So, we're not going to go over the whole list of don'ts, but we know what we're after. Who do you know like that? Who do you know that you can paint a picture to? You're looking for people who will grasp the same vision that you have and that will be open to it. And I can't tell you how important this is, guys. You got to focus on the right people to build your network. There's a lot of people who need this product. Okay. Don't fall in love with somebody's potential. People will show you what they're willing to do. I call it the Doritos complex. If somebody tells me that they want to lose weight, but every night they sit down and eat an enormous bag of Doritos, after a week, I'm going to believe the Doritos instead of the person. So watch what people do. I'll never cut somebody off if they join the network and they tell me they want to build a business, but then they sort of aren't doing it. Oh, I'll always be there waiting to support them if they show up to the party. But I'm not going to fall in love with their potential and go, oh, gee, if I could just get Jane to do this, I'm going to call her again today. Oh, I know that I can just, oh, she's got so much potential. Bag that, go on to the next person who also has potential, but will actually do it. Okay. You keep moving. Do not get stuck by falling in love with somebody's potential, because you've got to save yourself first. What do they tell you in an airplane? those bags come down, what's the first thing you should do? You put it on yourself first, and then you help the people around you. Why? Because if you pass out, you can't help anybody. And it's the same thing in network marketing. If you're just constantly talking to skinny rabbits, you're going to wind up with bone soup. Okay. So we're looking for the right people. Now there's a rhythm of activity in network marketing that is a successful rhythm. And I may have talked to you guys about this before, but it bears repeating. So it's a cycle of activities that you want to stay in this flow to build your network and to support your network and to create duplication. And you know, our industry loves speed because it creates momentum, and momentum creates excitement, which creates more speed, which creates more momentum, which creates more excitement. So we want to take action. We want to take it now. We want to take it massively. All right. So first thing is make your list, add to your list. Now, I forgot to tell you, I come from the world of show business. I had hit records back in the 80s. And I understand that there are popular rhythms, and there's a popular rhythm that's on so many hit records, and it's the same beat pattern as from Billie Jean, okay, from Michael Jackson's Billie Jean. It's on so many records, so many hit records, and in network marketing there is a common rhythm also. So that's what we're talking about. You want to make your list, add to your list, stay in that rhythm, sift that list. Who are my network builders here? Who am I going to talk to? Also, who's my low-hanging fruit? Who can I call up that I've got a good relationship with, and I'm going to call them now? Reach out to your contact. Now, we live in the world of emails and texts. Don't send somebody an unsolicited email or an unsolicited text. This is a reach out and touch activity. This is a relationship business. And you want to lay the groundwork for that. And I'll show you how to do it. But you're going to reach out to your contact. I prefer either reaching out like with a direct social media message and saying, hey, listen, would you have a few seconds to talk today? I want to get them offline and on the phone so that we can have a real conversation. Or I might just call somebody directly. Okay, I'm going to reach out, and then my goal is to get a video, get a tool, a website in front of them so that the tool does the talking. And then my goal is to follow up with that person with an upline. I don't want to be the expert. I want the person that I'm talking to see that I brought on an expert, which means they don't have to be an expert themselves to do this business. They could bring on an expert too, if that makes sense. Okay. So I want to do a follow-up with my upline or with my, my whatever. If my upline's not as active, just keep going up until you find the person who's willing to do that follow-up with you. That would be me. That would be Aaron. That would be other people on your team that are active. And then once they're in the business, you want to plug them into training. There's a lot of training that's available online. Erin is great at it. She knows all that training. She can plug her people in, plug your people in. And, I'm very willing to do trainings like this, but you want to plug those people in to help them know what to do next, because confused people will do nothing. Okay. So help them know what to do next. And then we're going to work to the next event. All right. Now, the next event could be our next online presentation. That's an opportunity presentation. It could be, we are also working towards the event in Florida. I hope you guys realize you can have like a free vacation just by sponsoring people. It's the Sowers Summit that's going to take place in October, and you've got until August 31st to qualify. You want to check that out, because really it's just $1,000 of volume will qualify you for the first level, and up to 4,000 qualifies you for $1,000 in airline tickets and your room's paid for and everything else. It's going to be an incredible event, and you're going to want to be there. But that's the pattern. Make your list, find people on that list who will build a network, reach out to them, send them a video, set the follow-up with your upline, follow up. Then once they're in, you want to train them to do the same thing and work to the next event. I'm thinking we're probably going to want to start doing regular events in Edmonton. just even maybe every week or every couple of weeks, maybe a live event. It doesn't have to be a fancy event. It could be at somebody's house. We've got to start creating a critical mass. We've got to have something to focus on, because basically this business is, recruit, train, and work to the next event. Recruit, train, and work to the next event. That's how you build the network and support the network. Okay. So what do you say? All right. When you call people, you may have watched a training that I've got on this on Tsunami Vids. I'll just kind of go through it. This is a little bit of a truncated version, but when you call somebody, make sure that you understand what your focus is for the call. Your focus is not to explain a bunch of stuff. Your focus is to get that person to watch a video and to schedule a follow-up call. That's it. Two simple objectives. This is an invitation to watch a video. This is not a presentation. You don't want to get into the price and the ingredients and the science and the history of the company and all of that stuff. You just get them to whet their appetite and create curiosity by watching that video, because the video will do it perfectly every single time. The tools will do the talking. Okay. A lot of times when you've called somebody and said, hey, I want to send this to you, they're going to try to ask you a million questions. Oh, well, what is it? Well, tell me about, and basically I just try to say, hey, look, I know you've got a million questions, just like I did. This video is probably going to answer 90% of them. And I really want you to get the big picture before we start drilling down into the weeds. So do me a favor, please just watch it. I'll call you back. And if you've got other questions, then we'll get them answered then. Sound like a plan? Don't let them start taking you off track. You really want to keep them in this process of just go watch the video. Okay. And you want to have the proper posture when you're doing this. So I'm talking about an emotional posture. Okay. Because people feel what you're feeling. People sense your energy. Energy is so important. So you want to get into the right headspace when you're calling somebody. Sometimes if I need to, I'll put on some really good music or something to just get my vibration a little higher for when I'm going to call that person, so that I'm feeling positive and energized and happy and understanding what I have and how I'm about to bless that person's life. And you need to understand that that's what you're doing. I think I've told you guys before, I had one brother that made $1 million in my previous business. I had another brother that could not get arrested in that business. And when I talked to that brother who could not get arrested in that business, I said, I want to help you. He told me, oh, I just kind of feel like I'm bothering people when I talk to him about it. Well, bingo. Bingo. This is why it's not working, because of what you believe, where you're starting from, what your posture is. My other brother knew, man, I'm going to call this person and they're going to love it. And I'm about to bless their life with this product and with this opportunity. Very different beliefs doing the same activity with very different results. So your energy and your posture is super, super important and very key. So basically what we want to do is we want to start out, there's like 7 steps in this call. You can learn this. I have trainings on this on Tsunami Vids, but you guys, I've done this so many times. It's worked so well. I just could do this in my sleep. I know these steps, So it's like, hi, Mary, it's Paul. How are you doing? Right? Just the icebreaker. Hey, listen, Mary, have I caught you at a bad time? I always ask that because I want to know if that person is up to the nub. If they're up to the nub, I don't want to talk to them right now. If they're surrounded by screaming kids and they're cooking dinner and they're running, I can't get their attention. And this is super important. So you know what? Let me give you a buzz back at a better time. When would be a better time if that comes up? Most of the time they say, oh no, what's going on? So then I'm gonna lay it out. Step 3. Well, listen, Mary, I wanted to call you because I wanted to let you know that I have come across something that has really gotten my attention. Now, I am super excited about it, and I have jumped into this thing with both feet. And I thought about calling you because blank. So when I say I'm excited about it and I've jumped in with both feet. What did I just tell her about my attitude? I'm committed. I am committed to this thing. I'm excited about this thing. Okay, that's my posture. Now, because look, here's the deal. Nobody, I've heard other people call and say, hey, listen, I came across this thing and it's pretty interesting, but what do you think about it? I'm thinking about doing this. What do you think? When nobody wants to be part of your test market, they're looking for your commitment, and people love to be led. Okay. So let them know where you stand. I am in with both feet. And I mean, I feel like the luckiest person alive to know this. And I'm calling you because, and here's the other thing. I put this in here to remind me to tell you this. You can say, listen, I've come across this thing and I'm super excited about it. And I've jumped in with both feet. You are also in a very unique situation to do this phone call, because here's what you can add. I want to tell you, I am working with multi-million-dollar earners that have taken me under their wing. These are some of the top people in this, what I'm calling you about, that I am directly working with them, and they are interested in helping me to grow this thing. And, they'd be willing to do the same thing with you. So, you can say, you can add that to it, as it's a very unique situation that I'm in. And I'm offering the same thing to you because they're looking for people that want to be serious about this. Does that make sense? So, and I thought of you because now this is where it's gonna make sense to them. Why did you think of them? Did you think of them because they're just a really cool person and you thought that you guys could have a lot of fun together in this? Did you think of them because they're interested in health? Did you think of them because that they're kind of a go-getter, an entrepreneurial person who's looking for opportunity outside of what they're doing? Why did you think of them? Just be honest and say, I thought of you because of XYZ reason. Okay, so that it makes sense to them why you called. Any questions about any of this so far, you guys? Okay, all right. The next step is, and this, you guys, this is the secret sauce. And talk about taking a posture. When I learned this principle, I mean, I just took off. I just flew, because what it does is it puts people at ease. Step number 4, hey, you know what, Mary, look, this may or may not be something for you, but I gotta tell you, knowing you, I think you're gonna love it, and I think you could be great at it. Now, by saying this may or may not be something for you, what I've done is I've told them, I am not going to try to break your arm. I'm not going to try to manipulate you. You don't have to worry that I'm going to beg you to do this. I am doing this with or without you. I'm very confident about it. But I really thought of you because I think you could be great at this. That's very different. Does that make sense? It puts people at ease. Hey, you know what? May or may not be something for you, but knowing what I know about you, I think this is gonna get you so excited you won't be able to sleep. Okay. Number 5, would it be all right if I texted or emailed you a short video that'll give you a quick overview? Would it be all right if is like a very magic little phrase, because nice people, when you say, would it be all right? They're like, well, sure, honey, it's fine. So yeah, it's all right. Sure. Would it be all right if I texted or emailed you a short video to give you a quick overview? Now, here's what I would suggest. Okay. Right now, the app is having a few problems. I have been trying to add assets to it, and my new assets are bumping my old assets off. So here's what I would suggest. Use this website, seedtsunami.com. On that website, there are 2 videos. There is Why Rain. It's a little 4-minute video that I created that goes through the concept of seed nutrition, what the research has been on the products, what they do, and kind of touches on the business a little bit, whether you want to just get free product, whether you want to have a side hustle, or whether you want true freedom. we can, we can give that to you. So that I think is a very good introduction, both product and business. And then it also has a little 3-minute video on how do you earn money as a RAIN associate, right? It's big block picture of, you get residuals and etc. It's not like circles and arrows and getting lost in the weeds with the comp plan. It's just very quick explanation. So I feel like this is a good exposure, short little exposure that you can send people to seedtsunami.com. Okay. And I would highly recommend that. If you want to send something from the app, you could send them This is Rain. It's another very short video. Right now on the app, if let me see, up at the top, it does have a connection. It does have it does have the Seed Tsunami website that you can just share from the app. You could send it through the app if you wanted to know that they visited it. But this is what I recommend. So get them to watch that. And once they agree, once they say, sure, okay, sure, send it over. Now what you want to do is you want to book an appointment from an appointment. Okay, so basically you want to stay in charge of when the next thing is gonna happen in this interaction between you and your prospect. So I say, okay, great. Well, listen, this video is like 4.5 minutes long, so it's not going to take you very long to watch it. And I know that you're going to have a lot of questions when you watch it, just like I did. And I really want to make sure to get your questions answered while they're freshly on your mind. Would it be all right if, I gave you a quick call back and say, I don't know, an hour? Would that give you enough time to watch it? So we're trying to move fast here, guys. It's not like, well, watch it, I'll call you back in a few days and blah. No, heck no. This is too important. Watch this thing. I'm going to call you I'll call you back in a half an hour if you let me, but you want to book that next, that follow-up. Would it be all right if I gave you a buzz back in an hour or so after you've had a chance to watch it? Now they might, they might say yes, great, yeah, sure, all right. In that case, terrific. I'll give you a buzz back in however many minutes you agree on, 60 minutes, whatever. A lot of times people will be busy. So, oh gosh, I'm just kind of running. I got to pick up the kids, blah, 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 whatever. It's legit, we're trying to fit into their lives. So I'm just going to say, okay, great. Well, listen, is there a particular time tomorrow that might be good for you? I'm looking to nail this thing down in the next day or 2 days. Past 48 hours, if they watch it and then 48 hours goes by, that's about stretching it to the limit where they'll remember what they watched. So, try to move that process along. Never send somebody like an email and say, hey, watch this and tell me if you're interested. Guess who's never getting back to you? And it's not because they're not interested. It's because it's not important enough in their life yet. We need to be in charge of interrupting the pattern long enough for where they can go, oh, right? But they got to get there or, it's never going to happen. So stay in charge of that interaction, land on a time in the next, 24 to 48 hours where you can talk and get them to agree to that. And once they agree, here's a little trick that will improve compliance, will improve follow through with people actually showing up to their appointments. I let them hear me put it in my calendar. So once they agree to say, oh, all right, oh, okay, just let me put that in my calendar. So call Mary 2 p.m. tomorrow. Okay, got it, Mary. I'll give you a buzz tomorrow at 2 p.m. But that should give you enough time to watch it for sure, right? So I'm letting them agree that it's going to give them enough time to watch it for sure. I'm letting them I'm asking yes questions. That should give you enough time to watch it for sure, right? Yes. Okay. So they heard me put it in my calendar. What does that do? It tells them that I'm serious about it. It's a real appointment. I'm committing my time. I'm organized. And so, that should give you enough time to watch it for sure. Right. Right. So they've agreed. Okay. Then I go and I put an alarm in my phone that's going to go off, like a half an hour before or 10 minutes before to say, hey, it's time. It's going to be time to call Mary. Okay. Because I just don't trust myself. I have a memory like a sieve. So I let technology do my remembering for me. And then once I'm off the phone with Mary, the next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to call Derek Winkle. I'm going to call my upline. I'm going to say, hey, Derek, listen, I've got a prospect that I talked to yesterday or tonight, and we're actually going to have a call tomorrow at 2. Would you be available to help me with that call? And normally Derek is available to help me. If he's not, then I'm going to get somebody else. I may bring Casey on or somebody, or Susie, or Byron, if I need to. Because I don't want to be the expert. I want somebody else to be the expert so that the person listening thinks, oh, that was easy. All Paul did was he sent me a video. He didn't even answer all the questions this other guy did. If that's the business, I think I could do that. Well, that's pretty simple, right? So I'm showing them how simple it is by me not explaining thymohydroquinone to them. Okay? don't do that. All right. So then what I'm going to do once the time comes is I'm going to, get on the phone. I'm going to three-way in my upline, or my person that's helping me with the call, my expert that I'm bringing on. And I'm going to introduce that person to my prospect, Mary. I'm going to say, hey, Mary, listen, I've got my friend Derek on the line. Derek really knows a lot more about this than I do. He's really an expert in this. And I thought he might be a little better at answering your question. So Derek is, very experienced. I'm going to give some background on Derek. I'm going to compliment him. And then I'm going to say, Derek, this is my friend Mary. She is so much fun. She is so sharp, or, whatever. I'm just going to do some compliments and some background. And then I'm going to just zip it. That's my next job. Let your upline expert do the talking. Okay. You trip yourself up if you become an expert, I promise you. And it's so tempting to do it. I am an expert in all things seeds right now that has anything to do with this company. I don't want to sound like that. It's dangerous. It makes somebody listening to me think they have to become a registered nurse to do this business. And I don't want them to think that. I want them to think all I have to do is send a video and get somebody else to help me. And that's it. And that's the business. Okay. Now you got to ask for the close. Your upline will probably do that if they're on that call with you. Here are some closes that I have learned. It took so much pressure off of me when I learned this. I used to make the mistake when I was new in the business of I would just keep talking. I would just keep telling them more stuff. Oh, and let me tell you about this. And then let me tell you about, this thing about the products. And you can talk somebody into and out of the business in the same conversation. It's like, stop talking, Paul. There's not this one magic thing that you're going to say where they go, oh, you said that? Perfect, I'm in. You have to ask for the close. So here's 2 closes that I learned that took all the pressure off of me. The first is, okay, Mary, well, listen, so now that Derek has explained all this to you and you've kind of seen the background of this and what your different options for participation are, if you were to join today, which of these packages do you think might be right for you? And that allows Mary to tell me where she's at. Oh, well, I think that Pro Pack makes sense. Or she may say, well, I think I want to think about it a little bit. Great. Now, I'll tell you how to handle that in a second, but I'm going to give you another close. So that was one. If you were to start today, which of these do you think might be right for you? Another one that I use is, so tell me, Mary, on a scale of 1 to 10, 1 being I'm not interested at all, and 10 being, hey, I think this is the greatest thing since sliced bread. Let's go. Where do you think you find yourself? So that, once again, it's just telling me, like where they're at. If they say they want to think about it, then I'm gonna go into a follow-up cycle. So when somebody says something nebulous like that, oh, I just kind of want to think about it, I'm going to ask them and say, is there any particular information that you might need to make a decision? So you're trying to focus them. What is it that you're wondering about, right? Is there any particular information that you think you might need in order to make a decision? And they might say, well, yeah, I was wondering a little bit about, like, tell me more about how you make money here, or how does this all work? Whatever, just let them tell you what their question is, and then get that information to them. Okay, I tell you what, I'm going to send you a little presentation on that, or I'm going to send you a flyer. Whatever it is that you can get to them. If you don't really know what that information might be, you just say, you know what, I'm going to get you that information. And then you get with your upline and figure out what is that thing that would best fit their burning question. And I'll get you that information. I'll give you I'll get it off to you, either tonight or tomorrow. But listen, I know now we're going to get right back into, I know you're going to have a lot of questions when you watch that. And I want to make sure that I answer those questions responsibly while they're fresh on your mind. Would it be all right if I gave you a call tomorrow around 4? You see what I'm saying? Stay in charge of the follow-up cycle. And you got to understand that follow-up is not an event. It's not a one-time thing. You're now in a process. Sponsoring is a process. Follow-up is a process. It's not an event, it's a process. So the process is, you do the invitation, you expose them with a tool, you do the three-way call. Then if they need further info, you're going to get that info to them. And then you're going to get right back into another follow-up three-way call, right? And then you're going to do the close. If they need more information, you're going to expose them to more information. And then you're going to set up the next interaction, a three-way call. Now you can also you got to understand, this is a proactive thing. You're staying in charge of what happens next, right? So you want to set that next appointment during the current one. And there's such a thing as the ladder of escalation. So if getting somebody the video and then the follow-up maybe didn't quite do the trick, then perhaps you want to escalate it, and you're going to expose them to a bigger picture. Maybe you want to get them on an online opportunity presentation where they're going to see a lot of other people that are on the screen like them. And they're looking around going, oh, there's other people like me here. Oh, cool. I'm not alone in this. You can get them to it, to a company event or whatever. We're going to have to establish what this ladder of escalation looks like on our team right now, because right now that what you'd escalate to would be an online opportunity presentation by me, which we will set. But right now, what you want to concentrate on is get that list. Who are 5 people that you can call, like, tomorrow? Okay, who are the 5 people? Call them tomorrow. Don't wait. Don't become a victim of the law of diminishing intent. The law of diminishing intent is kind of this thing where you kind of go, well, it's not really the perfect time, and I think I could learn a little bit more. I'll just wait until things calm down and I know a little more, and then a little more. But it's the kids are getting back to school. It's a little too busy. You keep talking yourself out of starting, and what winds up happening is the further away you get from the thing that you decided to do, the more time that goes by, the less likely it is that you will ever do the thing that you decided to do. Do it now. Don't let your fear stop you. Don't let the idea that I don't think I know the perfect approach stop you. There is no perfect approach. Just go. Just 5 people. Who's your low-hanging fruit? Who are the people that you think might want to build networks? Call them. Start. Send a video. And then we're going to concentrate on building RAIN partner teams. If you don't understand the compensation plan, but you will grasp this of just, I'm going to sponsor 2 people that want to build a network. And then I'm going to help them concentrate on sponsoring 2 people that want to build a network each. And I'm going to find 2 customers. That's a RAIN partner team. If that's all you ever understood about the compensation plan, and you did that, and you duplicated that, you would max out the compensation plan. And if that's all you ever understood, and you did it, you kept doing it, and you taught other people to do it, you would get every bonus this company pays, every single one. So just concentrate on that. I'm going to find my 2 right now, and then concentrate on helping them find their two each. Then I'm going to go out and find two more and help them find their two each. I'm going to get some customers. I'm going to build RAIN partner teams. Is that making sense to you guys? This is what we have to do. Don't wait. The time is now. Don't let it pass you by. Oh, and when you build a RAIN partner team, you get 50 points of free product every month. You can have up to 4 of those that pay you. Now, so I want to show you the difference between concentrating on just customers and concentrating on network builders. Okay. Now, look, people have built businesses with customers. It just takes a lot longer because the process would be, hey, oh yeah, I want to try it out. Sure, okay. Well, I've got on it. Hey, I really like this. Yeah, this is really good. I feel good. It may take them 6 months before it finally dawns on that person. You know, I feel so good. I know there's a business attached to this. Maybe I want to look at the business. If that's pretty typical for like a customer who converts into a distributor. So if it takes 6 months and you've got 2 people that you sponsored as customers, that means it's going to take a year, you know, another 6 months before you get 4 more people where those 2 people get 2 people each, right? And then it's going to take another 6 months, a year and a half before those 4 customers, right, decide, oh, let me see, maybe this is a business. Now you've got 8 new people. If you're just in a customer loop where customers are converting to distributors, at that rate, it would take you 4.5 years to break 1,000 people on your team. Now let me show you the difference. If you start with 2 business-minded people that want to go out and build networks, and let me tell you, I have experienced this exact time frame. This exact time frame is what happened to me in both of my network marketing businesses. I had more people than what I'll show you by doing this. But if you sponsor 2 business-minded people, gosh, those are people that are going to go, well, I'm going to call my 5 people like tomorrow. In a week, they could have 2 people. And that's kind of a typical thing for somebody that is a go-getter who says, yeah, I get it, let's go. And they pick up the phone, they're going to have 2 people that week in their business. I know Aaron did. I know many of you did, right? So you got those 2. Now it takes, 2 weeks to get the next 4 and 3 weeks for the next 8, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. In 9 weeks, you break 1,000 people as opposed to 4.5 years. And let me tell you, been there, done that. This works. It really and truly does work. It's just you having the right mindset, approaching people and painting the proper picture of, look, this is an amazing business. It's a category creator. I'm working with $1 million earners in this who are expanding this into North America. And I thought of you. You want in, right? We're finding those kind of people and painting that picture, helping people understand what's, what this really is and how big this is. And that network starts to grow because you're painting the proper picture and showing them what to do next. Is this making sense, guys? The time's now. All right. So basically, that's what I wanted to tell you. Any questions? What are you thinking about? What are your fears? What are you wondering about? Let me help you.
Well, thank you so much, Paul. You know what? I know many of you guys, I could see your reactions on your faces. That's why I love your cameras on, because I'm paying attention, seeing you're busy writing lots of notes, even myself. I got back to the basics on a lot of little things that, you know what? Even Paul, he's talked about it. He hits the refresh button. He's hitting the refresh button. He's already got a massive team, but he's hitting a refresh button because he knows how bad North American people need this so badly. It's coming every day on a daily basis. We keep on hearing more facts, more statistics. It's just mind blowing. And like Paul said, when Dr. Beckles shared that information, I knew exactly what he was sharing and why he was sharing those studies. I've seen him 3 or 4 times in the 3 months that we've been here, 3.5 months. but that one was powerful. And you're
Yeah.
gonna see more and more individuals at that stature going to share that type of stuff, because what we have in our hands, we have the solution. I went through all the 12 products and looked at all the ingredients in every single one, and we have over 22 items that the medical professionals that are screaming at the top of their lungs. Our dear Jamie Soleil has been doing 2 major interviews this week in regards to that, and it is powerful what Rain has. We don't
Well, guys,
go out to and outsource from all these other companies and stuff. It's all in our product line.
it's right there. It's you
All
you have
there.
everything that you need. Listen, we've gone long. I appreciate you all coming. I just really want to leave you with, I hope I have given you a sense of urgency. I hope I've given you some clarity as to what you really need to do, what you need to do next. You got to have that list, and you got to call 5 people tomorrow or more. Call 10 if you want, call 20, but at least call 5. And let's go. Let's pull the trigger. Let's do this thing. Let's make this happen. Let's go boom. Okay. And I am here for you. If you want me to do those 3-way calls with you, get in touch with me. I'll do them. We'll do Zooms. I am 1,000,000% available to you, but let's go. No more waiting. No more being afraid. No more thinking I need to know more. You don't. If you can send somebody to a website and set up a 3-way call with me, you can do this. And that's what we got to do. And we got to do it over and over and over and over. Okay?
Success leaves clues. It's urgency. We have 5 weeks to get qualified for SOAR Summit. We all need to be in Florida. I was checking out the location online, checking it out, and oh my goodness, I think all the Canadians will be there, as well as the Americans. But us Canadians want to get out of our own country and get on a holiday, and what a better opportunity to be able to be out there to heal the world, because there's a lot of healing that needs to be done. And don't be scared, and fill that funnel every single day. Not just go call the 5 people, but go find 5 more people. Go add 5 more people to your list every single day. That is the key. 100%. If you don't do those things, that's how you just get stagnant, and you're not building. Yes, you can still have a life. Yes, you can still run your kids around, go to work, do all that, but
you guys, there's no secret in network marketing. I told you the secret tonight. When you see somebody who has done very well in network marketing, that's a person who picked up the phone. That's it. That's it. That's the secret. Talk to people, get them in front of a video, follow up, rinse and repeat. It's so simple. People miss it. They look at somebody like me and they say, well, you must be a magic person who has some no, I picked up the phone. Okay. Pick up the phone.
Awesome. Does anybody have any quick questions or anything, or comments? I think everybody absolutely loved the training tonight. I know there's lots of messages.
Oh, you're always so inspiring, and I just typed in, you're a great kick in the butt.
Oh, thanks.
I know I don't.
Well, I can't think of a butt to kick.
Yeah.
5 weeks, Aaron, that's 30 people in our team. That sounds pretty good to qualify.
Yeah, exactly. Only takes.
All right, you guys. Well, listen, much love to you. Grasp this, run with it. I'm here for you. Okay. Have a great night, you guys.
Thank you.
Thank you so much
for organizing.
Bye, guys. Take care.